Thank you. My name is Danny Graham. This is my show. Tonight, I got several guests. We got four guests who are going to talk today, which is going to be a Star Wars question. Before we get into it, I'm going to bring each one of them on individually. But before I get on that, when I things that I always ask you to do, first, subscribe to my championships. My goal is 1,500 before Father's Day, which is the third week in June. That is my next current goal. With your help. Second, I'm going to ask you to please hit notification bell because I don't want you to miss any material that I upload, any content that I put out. I want you to make sure that you get to see it and get to hear it. Third, but not least, I want to ask you to please give me a thumbs up and please leave me feedback. Any kind of questions you may have, any kind of please leave them. I'll read them and I want to know what you want to say. It also gives me tips on future content that I want to provide for you. And our first guest is Hans Starr. What's up, Hans? How you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
I'm doing good, Danny. How are you?
First time on my show. All right.
Yeah,
Next, I'm going to invite. Thank you. Bring up my Maz Mama Bear. She is a frequent flyer here on my show. How you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Next, I'm bringing in Sean Stackhouse, one of my partners in crime. Okay. And last but not least is Mr. Knight.
The loud
one. All right.
He saved the best for last. Let's just be honest. I mean, me and my modesty understands why he brought me in last, but I'll let everybody know it's because I am the best. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course.
Hey, Danny, super humble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was going to go ahead and make this announcement really quick for us.
Take the floor.
So I don't know. You guys have been watching Sean's channel, and you've been watching Danny's channel where we're doing this countdown conversation stuff, and we have been hinting at this kind of thing that we've been talking about doing. And tonight we are making an official announcement. We have started a Chaos Central YouTube channel. It is not with content at the current time, but this is going to become one of 3 shows that is on Chaos Central's YouTube channel. This show is called the Khaotic Conversation, and it will be a Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time show. On Tuesdays, Sean's channel will host the Chaos List. And again, that will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Sundays, the Real Review 3000 will host the Chaos Central Rule of 3 show, which will be also at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These 3 shows will be the backbone of Chaos Central YouTube channel, which we will post after we have it on our channels. We will have them on the 3 separate channels, Comic Chat, Sean Stackhouse Reacts, and the Real Review 3000. And after the show is done, we will move it over to chaoscentral.com, Chaos Central, the YouTube channel, so you guys can watch it over there. And as time goes along and we can build up a rapport of this stuff, we will move over to do these shows over on Chaos Central's YouTube channel. So this is kind of an announcement, just so you guys know, to kind of be a companion piece to the chaoscentral.com webpage. But this is going to be YouTube content exclusively. And we have bigger plans than just these 3 shows. But this is what we're going to start with, because we talked about this about a month and a half ago or so, that these things that the 3 of us do, these shows work really well in format together. So we're glad to have Danny on with that. And Sean and I, of course, started chaoscentral.com last year. And, we'll be glad, we'll always be glad. Of course, Danny, this is your show. Having people like Han on, Mads, you're on a lot. So we will have other people on these shows too, just so you know.
Well, yeah, in case you didn't watch my show last week, Danny and I did a show with Robert Meyer Burnett, who was subbing in for Chris.
Yeah. So
he is awesome.
Yes,
I cannot say enough good things about him. Very, very down to earth, very, very generous with his time and comments.
Mm-hmm.
I felt very honored to be a part of that stream.
Yeah, we were talking like 30 to 40 minutes before we actually went live. I mean, there was just like so much that he was talking about, and we're like,
no, he's a great guy.
Yeah. It was fun.
I've been on a couple streams with him, and I mean, I don't know. He's got a lot of knowledge on a lot of different things, so it's very good to have him on. So I will shut up again because go figure. I talk a lot.
Okay, we're gonna go around the room. I'm gonna let Han introduce himself and tell the people quickly where they can find him at and what kind of content he brings to YouTube. Go ahead, Mr. Hans.
Hey everybody, I'm Han Star. I have a channel by the same name, Han Star. Right now, I'm mostly doing streams. I have a weekly Thursday afternoon stream called the Bloody Mary Brunch, where we hang out and I drink Bloody Marys and we talk about whatever from the internet. This week, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. And then I also have a bi-weekly show called Name That Tune, where Mr. Chris Knight, the Humble, is the DJ. And actually, the next episode this coming Sunday, Danny's going to be on there. So that's going to be a good time. So you can follow me on my channel, Han Star. I just hit a little over 250 subs, or as I like to say, I'm a quarter of a way to 1,000. And you can follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram at HanstarYT. And I appreciate you having me on, Danny.
Not a problem, sir. Next but not least is the favorite lady of the show, Maz Mama Bear. Tell the people where they can find you at, Miss Mama Bear.
Hey, Mads Mama Bear here. You can find me at Mads Mama Bear both on Twitter and on YouTube. I'm actually getting back to my old schedule. We got some catching up to do. So stay tuned.
Good deal.
Also, Queen's Councils every Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern. This week it will be on a Crispy.
The Queen's Council, y'all need to catch that. I catch that for the first time last Thursday, and it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, I caught an episode a couple weeks ago, and it was quite entertaining.
Yeah. Not for the faint of heart, I can tell you that.
They won't have
I believe there was a certain amount of thumbs up, and Mads Mama Bear may or may not have put a tank top on.
I got you.
In the episode I saw. So it's not for the faint of heart.
That one will be hard to find now, but I am open to doing that again.
Do you have a means of possibly sharing that stream with certain people in general? I'm just on the off chance that
honestly, that's something we can discuss later because it's a long story.
I have a friend of a friend of a friend that may or may not want to see such things.
His name is Chris Knight.
Hey,
Again, that can be. We can always add that back to the roster back on Thursday.
Next on the list of our guests is Mr. Sean Stackhouse. Go ahead, Mr. Sean. Tell people where they can find you at, sir.
I'm still just astounded at Chris. You can find me at Sean Stackhouse Reacts on YouTube and at Sean Stackhouse on Twitter. And I'm actually on my way up to 3,000 subs now. I've just had a recent surge in subscribers, and I thank everybody for subbing and tuning in.
Good deal. And last but not least is Mr. Chris Knight. Go ahead and tell people where they can find you at, Chris.
Well, you can find me over at The Real Review 3000. Just type that into YouTube. You'll find me. You can actually search for it now on Google, too. I think it's the first thing that comes up. I am currently in the process of trying to give away these lovely books. If I get up to 1,000 subscribers, which I am currently at 846, I am 154 away, which is really, with the fact that last week I was gone the whole week and I just had a few videos out, I jumped like about 60 subscribers. So it's, I appreciate every one of you guys has subscribed. If you're not subscribed, I would like to ask you to go ahead and check out my channel. If you like what you see, subscribe. And if you haven't already, go to @ChrisKnight5150 on Twitter and like and retweet my pinned post, and you have a chance to win these books, which is the original trilogy novelizations of the Star Wars original trilogy. And they are not the Legend series. They are the actual original ones. Star Wars, not A New Hope, but Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And they're all great. What was that?
2 of them are first prints, aren't they?
Yes. Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi are first print. The Star Wars one is a 7th special edition, I do believe, because it has the color pages in it from the movie, and the color pages for the movie of Return of the Jedi are also in this one. So please help me out with that. hopefully I can get monetized fairly soon. Yeah, because I have my hours. I've always had my hours. So that's yeah.
Didn't you get monetized, Sean?
Oh yeah, I've been monetized since October, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was thinking you had.
But yeah, and like Sean, he's going way up there too. So we're on our way. But yeah, check out chaoscentral.com and Chaos Central YouTube here in a couple weeks. We'll get some stuff up there for you guys. So yeah, thank you, Danny, for having me on as usual.
Not a problem. Okay, I think Terrence just sent out word to me he should be joining us soon, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Today, as each week, I try to come up with some kind of topic that's going to spark some conversation, hence the name Chaotic Conversation. Last week, I think we did theme songs that got us going. That was very good conversation. Some cartoons I never heard of before. Someone brought back childhood memories. This week, I was driving home and I pulled in the yard and something said Star Wars. And then the question came to my mind was, if I could go into the Star Wars universe, would I rather be a Sith or a Jedi, which is easy to me? Second, what kind of lightsaber weapon, would I develop and use? And third is, what 2 Jedi or Sith powers would I learn and master? Or they can be ones we already seen, or something we maybe saw in another movie that would be cool if we want to bring it into this world. So it's a 3-part question. First one being Jedi or Sith, which would you rather be? What lightsaber weapon would you use? And third, what 2 powers would you learn and master? Anybody would like to go first, or should I go ahead and make the choice?
Go ahead, Danny.
I've never gone first, so I'm gonna go first this time. I would definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, want to be a Sith. I think they're more interesting. They kind of go to their own beat. They don't have any rules, but what I would do is, I can't think of the 2 twins that was on G.I. Joe. What were they?
Crap.
Whatever they were.
Yeah.
I want to have a brother. I trust my brother, Javion. He would be awesome Sith too. He's similar to me but taller. We would be 2 Sith, and we would have that telekinetic connection, telepathy. One would feel pain. That's what I would want to be. The second thing being what weapon I would use. Any of y'all see a fan made this thing with Bruce Lee with the lightsaber nunchucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those kind of lightsabers I want to use. I want
lightsaber nunchucks.
That's what I want.
Man, those are dangerous.
And I want to be just as awesome as Bruce Lee. If you go back and get a chance to watch that clip, it is awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. It's
whoever did it. I don't know who did it, but it was masterful. Mm-hmm. And the third thing, I would want me and my brother, the way that Kylo Ren and Ray
mm-hmm.
could like pass things, like pass a lightsaber through time, distance, and space, that kind of stuff. I want to have that power, and also have the power to like transfer my essence into another body, or master cloning, and then just transfer our bodies into another fresh body. But that was the 2 I would want to do. I want to have that power to transfer weapons, whatever, through space and time, and also be able to transfer my essence into another fresh body should my Sith powers use it up. I would definitely want those lightsaber nunchucks would be my weapon of choice, and I definitely want to be a Sith. And Terrence is coming aboard.
Good choices.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine lightsaber nunchucks, man. Those things, if you didn't know how to use them properly, you'd be like chopping yourself in half. And
well, I imagine. So the thing Danny's talking about, of course, they used a clip of Bruce Lee and real nunchucks, and so the thing I would imagine is that the hilt of those would be a little bit longer, so when you hit like your shoulder or something, they wouldn't cut you. So I think, I can imagine what you're talking about: shorter blades, but longer hilt. So when you're doing that, you're not actually hurting yourself. And yes, it would be something that if it were in the Star Wars universe, that they would have to, that a person who would use those would have to be very skilled and over a long period of time become proficient at, I would believe.
So
Thank you, Phantom Menace. Tomax and Zaymont. That were their names.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
my question would be: would they always be nunchucks, or would they be like a double saber that you could break apart?
Ooh, I like that. With like a power rod or something.
In order
like
for you to really truly see, you gotta see that clip. I know Chris probably done seen it. I'm not sure about Sean or Mads.
No,
I'm sure Terrence already seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I would say that Han's got a really good point. You're dealing with two separate things. You're dealing with somebody who's fused that scene with Star Wars stuff. So in a Star Wars universe, I could actually see some sort of a power coupler, almost like force lightning between the two. Because Danny, you said Sith, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a Darth Maul type setup.
Yeah, so it would have like a very raw. Okay, so lightsaber tech here. It's a crystal, a kyber crystal that actually creates the color and things like that. I would assume that each one would have its own kyber crystal that between the two would have some sort of a lightning, like a force lightning effect to connect the two. So when you brought it out, not only would you have two weapons on the end, but you would have that. So like if you went around the back of somebody, you could wrap it around them and right
You
through.
are
Somebody.
a ridiculous nerd, man. I swear.
Well, and if you're just carrying them, you don't necessarily want them as nunchucks. So if they were connected, even though they had the shorter blades, they could be connected. And if you wanted to, you could kind of use them as the two shorter blades, and then they would come apart, and have a connection where you could use them like nunchucks.
And perhaps, since
I don't think you had that force lightning connecting, because that would be even more dangerous than it already is. To chop your damn hand off.
But
how I would do it, after having done tons of research, because I'm not a Star Wars, I'm not as adept as the guys I hang out with in Dark Council. So I did learn that there is a lightsaber whip. So that would be a good connection between the two, doing a Shoto blade, which is what Yoda wields, which is a shorter, almost like a dagger type equipment.
Okay.
Do two Shoto blades with a fiber link cord. Have the lightsaber whip in between. There's your nunchucks.
That's not bad.
That might work.
I mean, I think that, again, since it's a technology thing with a button, that perhaps there would be two buttons that you could hit. One would make it more like Darth Maul, so it could be a longer blade on each end, and that if you were going to break it,
Sounds good to me.
That. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. That's an awesome idea, though. I mean,
that is a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, that's my idea. So second, we're gonna go with Mr. Sean Stackhouse.
Oh man, I don't know that I would want to be a Jedi or a Sith. I would probably want to be somewhere in the middle, so something like a gray Jedi. So you could, because things aren't always black and white. I think there are times where you have a little bit of wiggle room on wrong and right. It's all subjective, to a point. So I would want to probably be able to have like Sith and Jedi tendencies. And as far as a lightsaber, I would probably just be fine with a normal lightsaber, because I mean, if you are proficient with the lightsaber, you're pretty freaking deadly. And as far as force powers, I definitely would want for the force lightning from the Sith, and probably the like Danny was saying, the ability to exchange items, through space and time, like Rise of Skywalker, because that could come in handy, especially if you're in a pinch. So yeah, I know that's pretty lame and run of the mill, but I would just be a gray Jedi with really badass lightsaber skills. and I'd kill Chris.
No, he wouldn't.
And what kind of lightsaber would that be? Just a regular lightsaber?
Yeah, because if you're proficient enough with a normal lightsaber, like if you're, I mean, look at Kenobi. I mean, like the Ewan McGregor Kenobi. I mean, when he was doing Darth Maul, the fight with Darth Maul, just with the basic lightsaber. I mean, he was very formidable. So I don't see any need for anything more than just a basic lightsaber.
I got you. All right. Next, we're going to go with Mr. Han Star. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good tonight.
All right. It's your turn at the bat, bro.
I would go. To me, Star Wars is kind of like a space western, so I would go think of like the old Clint Eastwood movies. I would want to be a Jedi. I would want to be the good guy riding into town, and so I would be a Jedi. And as far as lightsaber, I'm kind of like Sean. I would go the old school, single blade, old school lightsaber. And as far as powers, I would want telekinesis, and I would also want the Force Whisper, just because I always thought that was cool in the movie. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Reach about Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, well, yeah, Force Whisper, aka the Jedi mind trick. Yeah. Because to me that would come in very handy, and I always thought that was cool in the original movies. Is the Jedi just coming to people and say, "Oh, these are not the droids you're looking for." So to me, those would come in handy. I like the fact that you could do the telekinesis, move things, grab things. To me, those would come in handy. And like I said, I would be a Jedi, and I would wield, like Sean said, I'd wield the single old school blade lightsaber. I don't need any of the fancy double-ended lightsabers or any of that stuff. I just want the old school single blade lightsaber. Of course, to be super proficient in it, but just the single blade lightsaber.
The Jedi mind trick would come in really handy for the Jedi who's dating. You could be like, your standards are very low this evening.
Only you, Sean. Only you.
Sean's talking about the
that's
roofie.
verging on the topic that's been on my Twitter all day long.
I don't think there's a roofie Jedi mind trick, Sean.
Well,
you do not have any standards tonight.
Yeah.
Your inhibitions are very low.
I've been say no.
I've been what you're waiting for in this bar. You will come home with me.
You will not say no to whatever question I ask.
Wow.
Which would be awesome too. I just thought about if you watch Rebels to be able to talk to those animals, man, like Ezra could. That would be pretty slick.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
So you're
now I'm thinking about. I like to have the purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Nunchucks like Samuel L. Jackson. I always thought the purple lightsaber was the coolest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those very good answers, Han. Let me go to Terrence. I'm very eager to hear what he got to say.
Oh, yeah, this is a no-brainer. That's
did you get the questions?
Yeah, Jedi or Sith, right? Let's start with that one. That's 100% Sith all the way. With just my life experiences and how I dealt with rage for 5+ years before I was able to master it, and just really succumbing to the negative emotions. I feel like it would be better suited for me to be a Sith. The idea of somebody like Darth Sidious coming to me like, hey, you can have all this power, you can make people tremble at your presence and your name, and the destruction. To me, that seemed more fitting than just me being a Jedi and caring about people and all this other stuff. I'm like, that's not the life for me. Yeah, I'm like, these damn humans. Like Yoda telling me I got to go and protect these humans in this system. I'm like, no, let them die, Yoda. They kicked me out so quick. Like nah. Like talking about I need to go kill and deal with Vader and this and that. I'm like, why would I want to kill him when I can learn from him? Yeah, I'd be expelled so quick from the Jedi Order, but yeah, so definitely a Sith. In terms of the power spectrum, you know, with that trash that was introduced in Rise of Skywalker, I don't want any of their powers because they're really unreliable and it just pisses me off. Like I can spend 10 years mastering a power and then this fuck over here can be like, look what I can do. I'm like, wait the fuck, like how did you do that? There's no explanation. It's just ... because I'm fucking done with the powers, all that shit.
Yeah, I just magically have them.
Right, I just magically. They're just gonna say because, and then you don't have to explain shit like in Rise of Skywalker. So there you go. So none of that power shit. And in terms of a weapon, just the standard lightsaber, because you know I have been trained in Eskrima with the Kali sticks and the knives, so that's like right up my alley. You know, I would be willing to, you know, learn from as many people as possible in the use of this lightsaber. So you know, keep it simple in that way. And yeah, that's how it would be. I mean, I would definitely want to, you know, take out my master at some point and assume all the power for myself. You know, I'd be like, thank you for your service. Zoop, and then just the head's gone. And then, you know, I can look out into space and be like, yeah, all this is mine. You know, the humans will know Terrence. And then I can just hover and just like the most badass aircraft. It'd be sick.
So let's not go into Terrence's galaxy.
hey, Sean,
the all powerful.
You're wrong, Sean. Look, let me tell you why you're wrong. See, because even though I have this thing where I'm like, yeah, I don't like humans, I don't care about most humans. You see, you're a friend, so you'd be safe. You'd have your run of whatever I take over. You just let them know, like, you want me to call Terrence, and they're gonna shut the fuck up and give you whatever you want because they're not trying to die. So as
even
long
if
as
he's
you're
a
cool
great
with
Jedi,
me,
even if he's a great Jedi.
Like,
yeah.
Because well, here's the thing, though. But Sean, like, okay, there will be exceptions, right? Like, you know, you being whatever you are. Say if you fall more on the side of good, I'll make an exception. You know, I'll let my men know, like, see, normally I don't put up with this shit, but you know, Sean, he's a friend and he's all on this Jedi side. I'll let him slide. But if he starts getting students, them students got to die, Sean. I'm sorry.
We were younglings together. We were good friends.
yeah. No, see, just because I extend you a pass, don't mean you do that for the rest of the galaxy. That's disrespectful. Yeah,
Order
they're on their own.
Order 66. Everybody else but Sean.
Right. It's going to be called Order Terrence. Like it's just done. Like no one survives. Like you better be a friend or something, or we better at least had one pleasant conversation. Because if not, like, oh man, no, it's over.
That's awesome.
Well,
you cut me off in traffic.
The rule of Lord Terrence. Boy, that would
you cut me off in traffic. You're screwed.
Yep.
Shoot, they think Darth Sidious and.
I'm pretty sure I'd be okay.
Man, they just like they think Darth Sidious and Supreme Leader Snook and all of them are bad. I'm like, nah, they're merciful compared to what I would do. They don't get it. They gonna learn about the dark side when I get a hold of
it. Oh man.
Okay, that was pretty entertaining.
Nice.
Next, we're gonna go with Maz Mama Bear. What you got to say, Miss Mama Bear?
Okay. Like I said, Jim, I didn't grow up with Star Wars, and I only know what I know from hanging out with the Dark Council, so I did a lot of research this weekend. Agreeing with Sean, first of all, I could not be fully Jedi nor fully Sith. Crossing over to a Sith, it's beyond who I am. But there's a lot of stuff in the rules, the Jedi rules, that I couldn't live by. I would have to be gray. Lightsaber wise, I would have to go with, and I mentioned this a bit earlier, the fiber cord link lightsaber. That's because it's primarily a double-bladed like what Darth Maul has, but it can separate into two swords, and that falls right into my training. I do a lot of training with staff weapons and some hand-to-hand stuff. As for powers, the first one was no context, no issue. Animal bond. That is just an extension of my nature. Literally, I don't go camping because I'm terrified that I'll wind up having some sort of wild beast curled up outside my tent. And it really probably would happen. It happens every time I sleep over a friend's house. So that would be number one for me. The other one, I debated between the Jedi mind trick and the lightning, and I have to admit the lightning is sexy. I love the lightning. That would be my other trick. And for those who were counting, lightsaber would be a pale blue.
Okay, cool.
Would be a what?
Pale blue, like a teal, cyan.
Like the Luke Skywalker original.
Not quite the Empire blue, but yeah.
Mhm.
I just can't get past the Jedi mind trick because that could get you out of so much stuff
It could.
without having to
I have something that works just as well.
kick ass. You know.
But I would trade it in a heartbeat for the power of Grayskull.
Oh my God. So who would win between He-Man and Superman there, Sean Stackhouse?
Man, I would have to go with He-Man because He-Man,
I can't fucking believe it.
He-Man came in my life long before Superman did.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing: Superman would find him as Prince Adam and snap him in half, and it'd be over.
Did you, Sean? You know Superman. Have you heard of Strange Visitor Superman? Like if you have, like, you must understand that this dude outlived everything in the entire universe for billions of years. Like, outlived all the deities, all the gods, and then because he got bored on a Tuesday, he decided to make an infinite number of copies of himself just because, and they all shared his power equally. And then he kept the universe itself from collapsing. Like, his presence, since he was the last one, he had enough power to hold up an entire universe, and him leaving, nothing. So I'm like, He-Man gonna come with his sword, and then he's gonna see Strange Visitor Superman. Like, yep, I think I need to go back home. Yep.
Now, see, I have to disagree though, Terrence, because and only because, and I'm basing this on the 1982 comic book that crossed He-Man and Superman over. Superman was essentially under Skeletor's full control because Superman has the weakness to magic, and the power of Grayskull is 100% magic. So
well, here's the thing though, but Strange Visitor Superman is different.
Well,
as you know, there are different iterations.
Yeah,
and we have seen the ones that are really hacked that can deal with somebody like He-Man, to where that magical, all that doesn't matter when you become the most powerful thing in your own universe just because of your nature. Like, none of that stuff would work. I'm
just judging off of, like, the Superman from 1982 that was in those comics. I think if he was, if they did like a blow by blow match, because back then he was really weakened by magic, I think He-Man would ultimately win.
Oh yeah. If you wanna go to like the most basic version of Superman, which, to fairness, that's really the only way that you can have competition with my boy, is if you strip all the greatness away from him. Because as soon as Superman stands up, everybody is dead. Like, you don't want none of that.
You don't want that theme song to play, man.
No.
One time chance. That's the thing.
So you better strip my boy down. If it's the old school one, man, he gets snapped up so much. It's just like, like, how did he lose? What interpretation was that? Oh, that's why he lost. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Main question. That's a deciding factor in this debate. What's the sun in the He-Man universe?
What's what?
Oh, the sun? Well, in the comic book, he still was fully powered, so I would assume it was a yellow sun. They didn't specify.
But what about He-Man? Which universe are we doing this in? He-Man's or
this was in Eternia? This battle was in Eternia, and Superman was still fully powered. So, since I'm going to go out on a limb, since He-Man or Prince Adam's mom is actually an astronaut from Earth,
and he's part human.
Yeah, she is human.
I'm saying He-Man is part human.
Yeah, he is half human. Yeah. So, in the cartoon, they compared a lot of things to Eternia. So I would assume the fact that a human could survive on Eternia without any issues, that everything would be as it was on Earth for the most part, as far
There you
as
go.
See,
Abandoned menace,
that's the only
within
reason why.
India
That's the
is
only
a
reason why I'm
Yellowstone.
accepting of that, because of what you said.
Yeah, they're
Because
different alliterations, like Terrence said, because on Man of Steel, he couldn't quite cope with the Earth's oxygen at first, right?
right,
Mhm.
yeah,
And then the same thing with Zod and the net wear those masks.
that's right, and how quickly Zod was able to master it in seconds, what took Superman years. So, for the sake of good storytelling, you want to make sure that Superman is on par with whoever he's facing, because otherwise you wouldn't have a good story if he just shows up and blinks and then everything is dead. So
Yeah.
for something like He-Man, you need to make it to where Superman can lose to him, otherwise the story would cease to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good points. Are you finished, man, Mama's Bear?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Not sure how we got on, but
And last but not least on this list is Mr. Chris Knight.
So I had this, like, I think whenever you posted this, I had this down right away. So Sean, and I won't blame Mads. Mads is too perfect to be blamed. But it's Sean's fault that he picked the Great Jedi first, but definitely Great Jedi. The reason why I say this is there is I believe that Yoda is a great Jedi in a way. There's a scene Qui-Gon definitely fits it more, but I even say that Yoda it's just he's been a Jedi for so much longer that it's less noticeable because he's learned to not be confrontational with other people who don't necessarily accept his viewpoint. He's much more, I'm not going to tell you exactly what I think. I'm going to spout some bit of wisdom that will make you think, so I don't have to express what I have to say. But there's a scene in the Clone Wars, and I can't remember which episode it was, or it was like in season 4 or 5, I believe. I can't remember. It's been so long that he actually basically fights his dark half. And his dark half is able to do force lightning and all this stuff. And it's much like the forced caves where you go into it and it projects your other side, what you're afraid of or whatnot. And he had gone face to face with that. I think that's what a great Jedi does. He accepts the part of him that is willing to delve into the dark side of things to a way that he can understand that, again, not everything is black and white, that neither the Sith nor the Jedi are completely wrong or right. So I think calling it a gray Jedi is not really a good thing. I think it is a gray Force user is what I would say it is, because they don't pick a side, I don't think. Qui-Gon, I think, was just a part of the Jedi Order because he saw more wrong with the Sith. I think a true gray Jedi would accept some of the things the Sith did. There's some things that has happened that I would assume that, a gray Jedi would look at it, let's say, like when they steal the Death Star plans and Darth Vader goes after them and kills a bunch of rebels and stuff. A gray Jedi would probably look at it and go like, well, you stole these plans. His job is to protect that, and you got in the way of that, so therefore I don't see a problem with your death. Something like that, perhaps. But definitely a great Jedi, because they see more of both sides of things and are more willing to accept one side, be able to use what works in both sides of the Jedi powers.
There's some people that say there's no such thing as a great Jedi. I'm not a reader of the books. What do you know about it, Terrence?
Well, when it comes to the extended universe, if it's not Rebels or Clone Wars or The Mandalorian, it's not canon to me. Like the rest of that stuff, because when you watch the movies, it doesn't make you feel like, oh yeah, you got to go read these 60 books and then read these 200 comic books. I'm like, no, that's extra stuff, because there are plenty of people that don't even know that stuff exists. Yet if you have a Star Wars conversation with them, they'd be able to talk you under the table. They did with no knowledge of that stuff. And the continuity between what I just mentioned it all pulls together without all that stuff. To me, that's just more extra stuff that they may or may not incorporate in said show or said movie at a certain point in time to make fans of that fully extended universe happy. Like, remember in that book or remember in this comic? Well, here you go. So
but
that's
even
how I
the
feel about it.
cinematic universe pulls from a lot of that stuff too. That's the thing. And
You mean more than newer films like
well,
Rise of
yeah,
Trash?
but even the old films, AC, it's heavily insinuated that there is a gray Jedi, but they don't ever call it that. Now, you said Rebels and Clone Wars do or don't count?
No, they do.
Okay.
It has to be Clone
mentioned-
Wars, Rebels, and The
mentioned in Clone
Mandalorian.
Wars. In the Clone Wars, Ahsoka is very much basically considered a gray Jedi. She's never fully becomes a Jedi technically, but she has the powers. She is a Force user. She's been skilled in the art of the lightsaber. She has all of that. She walks away from the Jedi Order because she sees the problems.
Oh, understand that I'm not saying that it's not a thing. My only position is that I just wanted to throw out there what I feel is legitimately canon versus all this extra stuff that people like to throw in the mix.
Well, the EU is always considered a separate
Robert Storms is saying Ahsoka is not a Jedi, and he's right. But the thing is, she was trained pretty much as a Jedi. She had most of the Jedi powers.
She walked away.
She was a Force user, so I guess you could say she's a. If you don't want to call her a great Jedi,
what show is this?
User.
She was on Clone Wars.
She was on Rebels.
Yes, yeah. I need to watch Clone Wars and Rebels. Like,
was she on Rebels?
I haven't seen either one of those because at first I didn't realize they were canon. I didn't find that out until much later, and I was like, okay, I will entertain it because it is canon. Unlike
they actually released the first episode of Clone Wars was, I think, a 2 hour and a half.
Season 7.
Well, the first one ever was actually a movie that they released, I think, to theaters for a short time. And that was released in between what was the second of the prequels? It was The Phantom Menace.
What, Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, Attack of the Clones was the second one. It was after Attack of the Clones that they did the first Clone Wars episode, the pilot, whatever you want to call it, but it was a full movie.
Yeah.
And they released it for a short amount, and that actually became the first episode of the series. And then they did Revenge of the Sith. So that was where it started. But Ahsoka is not a Jedi. You're right, Robert. But she walks away. She made the choice to walk away.
Here's a question for everybody. Is Jedi just like Sith and Jedi? Well, I know Sith was an actual race.
Yes.
But Jedi, is Jedi more of a term?
Jedi is a teaching.
It's a way of life.
Yes,
and you know why I know that? Because George Lucas explained that as he got his inspiration from Buddhist monks and things of that sort.
Sure. But my point is, saying that there is no great Jedi or what have you. The thing is, if you are trained in the arts of the Jedi, like Ahsoka was, whether or not she actually obtained the title of Jedi officially, she still has powers.
She can call herself a Jedi. It doesn't make it so, though, because according
that's
to
true.
the way it happens, the way it happens,
my question is, does it matter if you are a Jedi or if you have the skills of a Jedi? Because technically, Ahsoka is like one of the most
skilled,
popular and skilled,
right. Well, I mean, it's a combination of like, it has to be a title and a way of thinking, because a certain number of people, they can learn skills. Like a good example would be like martial artists, right? There's a difference between a martial artist and someone that knows martial arts. Someone that knows martial arts does not have any of the good nature, any of the mental discipline. They can just throw punches and kicks. But the martial artist, that whole thing is a lifestyle, helping others, using your art to defend and not just to go out there because you want to beat somebody up and show off. So there are things.
Yeah,
so there's a spiritual and mental thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
I'll point out exactly what I say, and everybody argues with me on this. This is the same thing Luke was. Luke was never officially a Jedi because he did not have to go through the same things that other Jedis went through, the trials, all that stuff. He never did. Yoda tells him there's one last thing for you to do. And so it's only assumed after that fact that because there are no more Jedi left, he followed through with what Yoda told him to do, that he has become a Jedi Master.
That's right.
But he's
That's
never
right.
a Jedi Master by the true standard of it.
No, because but Chris, to be fair though, like when Yoda set that up, he said that he had to fulfill certain things. You know, a Jedi, you are not yet. So it's implied that once he, was able to master his emotions and deal with his father, that he would be a Jedi.
A Jedi, yes, but the Jedi Master side of things, I tell people, while he takes on the moniker, and even in the books, he takes on the moniker of a Jedi Master, starts his own training program and all this. He is essentially starting a whole new Jedi Order and a whole new thinking. So it's completely different. And you could talk about that for hours because
I'm fairly certain that he communed with Yoda and Kenobi through the Force Ghost.
In the books, he does, and in the books, but the thing is Disney and a lot of people who follow only the movies and the series, that's never implied. That's never told to you. If you watch Rebels, and in particular, if you watch the last season of Clone Wars, Qui-Gon was not able to study enough to get his body form that we can see, like with Ken Yoda. He can only do his voice and like mist or whatever. Yes. That's how he communed with Yoda. Mm-hmm. But then once Yoda, hold on a minute. I got Robert Strong call. Hold on a minute.
At the end of episode 3, didn't Yoda tell Obi-Wan that he had like additional training coming from Qui-Gon?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yes, there is something, but again, that's an add-in, and I think that was added in to alleviate that issue. And if you go by the original standards, no, I mean, there's nothing mentioned. This was an add-in, and again, that's for reasons of, again, we can talk hours about that.
But you got to be fair, though. You can't really say that Luke Skywalker came with his own way of thinking, because he completely got that from the Jedi. So that's not original.
Yes, he did. Yeah. I'm not saying that he didn't.
Let me real quick. Robert, I got him on the phone. He want to make a comment. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on. Robert, can you hear me? All right, you're on. Can y'all hear him?
Put him on speaker.
But they're gonna have to hear me. So I've never seen a room full of non-Star Wars known son of a bitch in my entire life.
Ho. We ain't gonna be all disrespectful now.
First of all, I was joking. Look, one, there is no great Jedi. You got light, you got dark. Okay, Qui-Gon goes to the light because Qui-Gon says the light is there. That was a quote from Master and Apprentice. Okay. Secondly, anybody can be a Force user. Maz Kanata is a Force user. Leia was a Force user.
They're Force sensitive.
Doesn't necessarily make you a Jedi. You have to go through the ranks to become a Jedi. It's like if you go become a monk. I just could have shaved my head and stuff doesn't mean I'm a monk. You have to go through the ranks to become a monk.
That's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah. Do all that stuff. Doesn't mean I'm a monk, right? It's like basketball. I consider basketball doesn't make you an NBA player, right? You have to be good. You have to be able to go through the ranks to become an NBA player. That's what a Jedi is. Anybody can be a Force user, but you can't be a Jedi unless you go through the teaching, go through the ranks, go through the trials. There's a whole thing about that. Just like a doctor. You put a Band-Aid, doesn't mean you're a doctor unless you go through the trials, the school, and all that stuff. So
didn't I just say that with the martial arts example? Like,
yeah, but wait. All right, Robert.
Can you hear him, Robert?
Robert.
I can't hear that because he don't got headphones on.
Okay. Well,
hold on. I'm gonna cut that off.
Yeah, I don't know if Robert heard what I said about the martial arts thing and the martial artists, but that was pretty much what he just said with more examples.
Pretty much.
All right. Robert, can you hear me? No, I can't hear him. Okay, Robert, here's the thing. The Gray Jedi is not just canon. It's peppered throughout the whole thing. It has been mentioned in canon, and in even just the cinematic stuff. But the key is a Gray Jedi can be more one side or another. It's not just a light or a dark side. That is now the Jedi themselves will not necessarily acknowledge the Gray Jedi. So somebody like Qui-Gon definitely falls more to the light side, but they understand that sometimes you have to understand the other side of things, and that is the beginnings of a Gray Jedi. But no, I mean, I'm just stating that there's definitely a Gray Jedi to canon.
I just thought it was interesting how, he made that comment and he literally repeated what I said in different words. Like, I thought that was interesting.
But yeah, I mean, again, the Jedi themselves are based on a religious faction.
Can you hear me?
Buddhist.
No, just tell me what they're saying, and then I'll reply or whatnot.
Danny,
Whatever they're saying.
I can hear you now.
if Robert wants to like jump on, I can jump out really quick so he can come on and make his point.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna send you the link, Robert, and jump on. I'm gonna back one of them out.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me finish.
or
Get in my car.
You can't do it on your phone.
Send me the link. Maybe I can get on my phone. I mean, that's kind of dangerous driving and talking, but sure.
All right. All right.
or I can jump out because I'm not like super Star Wars literate. So
Well, no, I'm going to finish real quick here with my other stuff. So what kind of lightsaber weapon would I have? Definitely purple. Purple is another choice of Gray Jedi, which again, Mace Windu was considered possibly a Gray Jedi. I think you could put Luke Skywalker in the new trilogy as more of a Gray Jedi.
Oh yeah.
Say what you will about him, whatever. We're not going to get into that either. Qui-Gon. I even think that Yoda would be considered a Gray Jedi. The only difference is Yoda has been around so long that he knows the proper way to make people rethink their situation and not fight somebody or not do something. You see, because Qui-Gon was constantly being told, hey, because like when he says, I'm going to train this kid, they're like, well, we don't want him to be trained. He still was going to do it.
Right. But I mean, I want you all to understand that, I respect everything that everyone is saying because, my knowledge begins and ends with the films, really, and the Mandalorian, because I haven't dived into the extensive EU, right? So,
this is from the EU. This is just, you can get this straight from the book, or not the books, the movies and the shows. But it's not so heavily pinpointed in the films and in the series, but it's very much brought up in the Clone Wars. I think the Clone Wars is the one that really brings it up the most.
If you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, it'll show you a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See that's why. See, I was just listening. I only gave my 2 cents in on what I knew I was talking about. That Robert repeated. It's like,
Robert, he is like, that's his thing. Yeah. He reads all those books and all that kind of stuff. I'm first to tell you, I'm not a diehard into the books and stuff. I'm more like Terrence. I read. I mean, I see the shows, and that's how I operate. In fact, here he is right here. Hands, I'm gonna drop you down if you don't mind.
Yeah. Go on and drop me because y'all are way more up on this stuff than I am.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Let's go out to the lobby. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, Robert?
Oh,
What's going on, Robert?
You guys hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Am I echoing or anything? Am I?
No,
You're
you
good.
Nope. You good?
All right. We had mainly 3 questions about Star Wars, which is your forte, and I'll tell you the 3 questions.
But well, let me
Are you
finish.
okay.
Yeah, let me finish because so I was gonna do a double-bladed purple lightsaber, but it's gonna be a little different. I like the idea of having something I can break apart if I want, but I would have a full blade on one end and a scythe blade on the other, so that like a curved blade, not a full, not like the hammer and sickle. I don't want a sickle, but a scythe blade is a little more of a quarter moon like this, and I want that on the other end that I could break apart and use singularly. Something different. I don't think we've seen much of that. There's similar things to that, but not completely. And then what powers? I think what Han said about the ability to the Jedi mind tricks and some of that stuff, I just can kind of consider that any Jedi can do that. I think it's kind of one of those generic teachings. But I would like to know force projection and force lightning. Those are the 2 main ones I would do.
How would you get the weapon to curve it there? I thought they could only shoot like.
Well,
straight.
there is for instance, like Kylo Ren's blades, the flame side of it to come out, that's due to a very unstable crystal, if I remember right. That's why it gets like that. So it can't. It's a little more chaotic, and I would assume it'd be something like that. I don't really know, but I would like, if there was a way, I'd like to know, and I'd like to do it.
the definite way to do it is to have J.J. Abrams write it.
Well, there you go. Then that's how we'll do it.
Yeah.
But okay, and now, Robert.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, that's all. That's my piece.
Okay. The 3 questions we had, I'm going to just read them quickly. If you want to comment on them, you can, or whatever we were talking about. Was if you were in the Star Wars universe and you had opportunity, would you rather be a Jedi or a Sith? If so, what weapon, lightsaber weapon, would you use, would make and use in that universe? And what 2 powers, Jedi or Sith, would you use to do whatever you want to do? That was the main question. Then it kind of branched off into different things that you heard earlier.
Oh, okay. Well, to answer your question, I would be the Jedi, of course. Jedi, you go to the light side. Mind control, moving objects. Well, actually, you know what? I think I would go with Quinlan Boss's. One of Quinlan Boss's powers, where she can touch an object and see the history of the object, all who had it and whatnot.
Now, you see, go ahead. Go ahead, Robert. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I would go with Quinlan Voss, and then probably the mind control, and then I would just go with the traditional lightsaber, but with a yellow kyber crystal.
Okay. Now, what Sean said, Chris and Mads, is that from their readings or in their conversations, they have seen and heard of a great Jedi. I've seen and heard of it too, but I've also heard that you say there's no such thing. I am not the expert on great Jedi's, whatever. I know that there's some people dabble where they weren't in the light, and they decided to say fuck it. And then I guess there was some that was Sith, and they decided to say fuck it and go back. So I guess that's where the confusion comes in.
There's only one Jedi, and that's Jedi. You have a Jedi, and you have your dark side users, whether it be the Sith or whatever the hell J.J. Abrams decided to make Kylo. We don't count that. It's a dark side user, regardless. There is no gray Jedi.
Actually, there is. I mean,
can you please show me the proof? Can you please show me the proof?
Yeah.
I'm be proven wrong. The thing is, I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studying Star Wars, and I'm not saying I know everything, but I know for a fact that there is no gray Jedi.
Well, So hold on, I'm trying to find exact references here. Like, for instance, there's been considered dark Jedi, gray Jedi, there's Jedi, Sith, there's all of that. But Sith, even like Sean said, Sith isn't a way of Jedi. It is simply it. In fact, there are no Sith left.
Well, hold on.
They were
Dark Jedi. Dark Jedi is a term that was first brought up in Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy. There was a Dark Jedi. That was before the term Sith was even created. Before George Lucas even had an idea of a Sith, they used the term Dark Jedi, which was in turn just a Sith. But none of that matters anymore. Since 2014, all that is irrelevant. None of that counts anymore.
Well, but that it isn't even.
Yeah, but we're not really going off of the fact that they erased things.
It's even mentioned within.
We can sit there and look at. We can go look at. What's that?
It's mentioned in the Clone Wars, even.
In the Clone Wars animated show?
Yeah.
There is no Grey Jedi in the Clone Wars animated show.
But it is mentioned in there.
I don't remember. I watched it very recently. I don't see any mention of Grey Jedi.
Hold on, like I said, I'm trying to get you your exact. Hold on. Okay, so
See, Danny, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to just wipe everything out, because it's just.
I agree.
Terrence will.
So Rebel season 3, they call him the Bendu.
The Bendu, he's the one in the middle. He's not a great Jedi.
But that is how they determine it. That's how he mentions it.
The one in the middle. The one in the middle.
You're making up your own terms. You're making up your own terms.
No. Hold on. Like I said, I have to find you actual points.
If the one in the middle, I mean, if they can do both light and dark, that would still technically be what people consider a gray Jedi, right?
No, because he's not a Jedi. He wasn't trained as a Jedi. He didn't go through the Jedi trials. You guys are taking the term Jedi and using it for anything that's a Force user. That's not what a Jedi is. Well,
that's why I was saying earlier. I mean, Jedi to me is more of a term. I mean, I consider Ahsoka as much as a Jedi as anybody else because of her skill.
Ahsoka's not a Jedi
by title, right? And she didn't go through the trials. I understand, but I mean, she is. But she can go up against like pretty much any Jedi she wants.
Just because you can do something, don't mean you're a Jedi.
But I mean, if I think in the way I consider it, and I'm sure this isn't along the lines of everybody else, but if you can match power for power against a Jedi, even though they don't officially recognize you as a Jedi, I'm going to still give it to you.
You can't do that. Let's say I trained my entire life to be a black belt in karate, and then the day before my test, I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to do it. I can go toe-to-toe with Bruce Lee, but does that mean I'm a black belt karate? Hell no, because I didn't do it.
Well, if you took him out, Bruce Lee out.
No, because now you're just going by power and power level. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you're a Jedi. A Jedi is a rank, a symbol. What you've done, it was an organization of peacekeepers. You can shoot a gun. Does that make you a cop?
Well, good.
Well, but the thing is that there are plenty of examples of this, and the thing is, what you're doing is what would you term them as then? Because they even say I don't identify as one or the other. So here's the thing: I think over time.
So would you just say they're a gray Force user, like they're in the middle?
No, they're not gray. Why you guys got to put color? What are you guys? Like color coding every damn thing? You got to put a label.
I mean, even the fandom pages and stuff. It even says the term "gray Jedi" or "gray" has two meanings.
In Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe, you have the light side and you have the dark side.
Yes, and then you have.
So what about people that are in the middle? I mean,
first of all, Maz Kanata is a Force user. She's not on the bad side, but she's not a Jedi. She's a light side Force.
She does not use Force. She's Force sensitive. There's a difference.
Yes, she does. She's a Force. Look up Force Awakens novelization.
Okay.
In the Force Awakens novelization.
But again, I'm not taking novelizations into this. We're leaving novelizations out of this.
canon, sir. I'm talking about straight canon. If you want to talk about stuff,
There is
we
no
can talk
canon
about-
anymore.
There is canon. How you gonna tell me there's no canon?
Because canon is
I've been
nothing
spending
anymore.
time
They
doing
flip
the
flop.
canon since
Destroyed by
19th
Disney.
century.
Canon was destroyed as soon as Disney released The Force Awakens.
And they pick and choose what they want
No,
from the
you're
old
talking
canon
about
and from the new
EU.
canon.
You're
No.
talking about EU.
But EU was canon, and then they took it around. So here's the thing: who do you take as the person?
Canon.
Do you take
George
canon
Lucas
from the
comment.
person who made it, George
Never
Lucas, or do you
canon.
take it from a mouse?
EU was never canon.
So
Dude,
what
you
you're
guys are
saying
smoking
is
some
somebody
shit.
you're saying people who had
Didn't
no
even like
say
the
in this
EU.
beforehand, people who had no say in this beforehand, now can control whatever they want about it.
This is the problem. Is you guys, all people like you guys, go on the internet and you have you have ideas of what you think it is, and then you try to put false stuff in order to twist the stuff into your narrative.
This isn't
George
just me. This is written in every bit of the textbooks and stuff, and everything.
Go back and look up the EU canon. There's like 13 different levels of canon. B canon, A canon, C canon. That's not fucking canon. George Lucas said himself that none of the books are canon to the movies. None of the canon.
Well, no, you're right. George Lucas, the only thing
That's what I'm saying is
cherry pick
because
the EU.
that's what I'm saying. We're leaving the books out of this.
Okay.
And I said that.
Let's leave the books out of it. Let's leave the books out of it. Let's talk about Clone Wars.
In the Clone Wars series, they very poignantly point out. Hold on, I have to figure out which episode it is.
You're insane, man. You're insane.
Well, yes, he is. He is insane. I can vouch for that.
You're taking an in the middle Force user, and you as a person is slapping the title Gray Jedi on them. You tell me when any episode that they reference Gray Jedi in that exact term. You tell me.
And hold on. Again, I'm trying to find you the exact side of this. Hold on.
Chris, the Phantom Minute says Altar of Mortis episode.
Okay, that's the thing. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Shellback says, "You guys? What do you mean, you guys?"
Yeah. So how you doing, Robert? Like, I wasn't expecting to get to talk to you like this. I didn't want you to come in here like, with the lightsaber ready to decapitate everybody.
But look, I had a rough day at work, and you know how it goes.
It's all.
Oh
good.
yeah. See, yep. See,
Where's the music coming from?
That's me.
Oh,
We're in the Altar of Mortis episode.
I come in and everybody except for Chris shuts off their camera.
I never shut my camera off. There's no point. Well, I do if I leave for a minute. There's no point in it. Again, I haven't read all this stuff to find it for you. But I mean,
I'm looking at the Altar of Mortis, trying to see if they use that terminology.
Now it's been about 2 years since I've seen the Mortis episode, but I don't remember them saying Gray Jedi at
and
all.
there is even what was it? There's another one that they bring up a certain Jedi and they say that he was a Gray Jedi, I think.
See, now I'm curious if they actually use that term. Like, I haven't seen that show. That's why you don't hear me acting like I know it. But yeah,
I'm telling you, man, there is no Gray Jedi. There is no Gray Jedi. Even you trying to slap the label on Bendu, even Bendu's like, what the fuck? I'm not a Gray Jedi.
No, but I think that's what they're implying, and even himself is implying that.
No, you're implying.
No, because it's coming up in that very way. What is a Jedi who does not follow the light or the dark?
You're confusing Force users for Jedi. That's what you're doing.
You're again the Maz Kanata thing. I call her force sensitive because in the movies, and that's all we're talking about here, there's never anything that shows that she's anything more than force sensitive.
Force sensitive is still force user.
No, because it's not. It's they're tied to the force and can gain things from the force, but they're not actually using it.
You're calling any force user a Jedi. That's not a fact. The Bendu in the episode, I believe, what was it, season 3? He tells Kanan, "There's the light side, there's the dark side. I'm the one in the middle. I am the Bendu." He doesn't say, "I am the Great Jedi." He says, "I am the Bendu." And that was, as much as everybody hates Last Jedi, that was something Luke was trying to tell people. It's like the Force does not belong to the Jedi.
Yeah, but you see, again, you're insinuating that that's what they're doing.
I'm not insinuating. I'm pulling out facts.
I will get you your information you're wanting. Digging through all this stuff right now. It's not.
I'm spitting out facts, man. I'm spitting out facts. If anybody's
no. Danny and Sean, like, you guys seem to know what Chris is talking about, I guess. Like, are you guys looking for something for Rob? Or
it's only showing clips.
Well, I'm familiar with it, like over years of hearing the term. I forget officially where I first saw or heard the term from, but I mean, I've known of the term for like decades.
I've heard the term for the last 3 or 4 years. What Robert's saying now is saying that it does not exist. Like I said,
there's a problem.
I really don't give a shit whether it's a gray, black, blue, or green Jedi.
It's like flat Earth and round people and round Earth. Just because you don't see the Earth doesn't mean it's not round. That's kind of the way it is. A flat Earther is going to be dead set on this is my science, this is my proof, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is it doesn't mean the fact that the Earth is round. Now again, I will look up I will look through all. And I will find information.
I'm going to watch that episode tonight that Chris brought up because I want to know, because I'm curious now.
Oh, the fan brought that up.
Episode, or whatever it was, I'm going to watch that episode tonight before I go to sleep because I want to know for myself.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Robert made a very good point about. He made a very good point about you could be practicing martial arts all your life, but if you don't take that test, become black, blue, green, whatever belt, then you're not that. And you could be a badass and beat Bruce Lee or whomever the man on the. So I understand that example.
But that's exactly what I said, is that we only take in Luke becoming a Jedi after the fact, because according to what we know originally in the movies, it's what Yoda tells him to do, but he doesn't face the trials like all other Jedis have.
I'm not disagreeing with that point either.
All right, really quick.
Vader and the Emperor was his trial,
but that's not how it's mentioned. It's just
hold on, really quick. I have a quote here. It's from StarWars.fandom.com. It's the link that Hans put in the chat, and it says the quote is: "Jin always does things his own way, always sure he is right, always incredulous if we do not see it in his way. Some think he is a great Jedi," and that was someone by the name of TYVOKKA speaking on Qui-Gon Jinn.
From what is that taken from?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to find out where it was taken from.
If it's before 2015, it's not canon.
No, okay. Again, we're past that, because we're not even argue over what canon is. Because here's the thing: I don't buy anything Disney says because they didn't make canon originally.
That's fine, but guess what? Disney owns Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm is Star Wars.
But the thing is I still say that whatever Lucas says trumps what Disney says.
Okay,
here's the thing.
Go ask George Lucas. Go ask George Lucas if their son called a fucking gray Jedi. See what George Lucas says to your ass.
I'll look and see what it says, because I'm sure I'm not positive that he said anything, but hold on.
This is the first I've heard about this, guys. I gave my martial arts and martial artist example. I hope you heard that, Robert. But
I did.
Yeah, it's just I'm like, what is this Gray Jedi?
Is going to settle this is to watch that damn episode, and I guarantee you, this time tomorrow night I will know. Well, shit, in about another 45 minutes, I'm gonna know the damn answer.
So Jolie Bindo is a self-proclaimed Grey Jedi of the Old Republic.
And that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so Old Republic, nothing in Old Republic is canon anymore. So
No. Because here's the thing: you
It
can't have that. Then here's the thing: then everything new, the new trilogy, and everything since Disney's taken place, that's all that's canon. Because you can't take anything from before that.
First of all, anything in the Old Republic in the first place?
Absolutely, actually, the only thing that.
Let me finish before. Okay, you guys stop cutting each other off. Okay, let me finish, then you can go. Okay. First of all, anything in the Old Republic wasn't canon to George Lucas in the first place because nothing in the EU is canon. You can look that up. Secondly, from the acquisition of Disney from 2014 up, nothing from the past is canon anyway, other than the movies and Clone Wars. That is it. That's official. You can look that up. So you can give me any kind of quotes from books and magazines.
Too.
From what? Well, Rebels, because Rebels came after Disney bought it, though. I'm talking about prior to Disney buying. They wiped out canon, and whatever the EU was, because like I said, George Lucas didn't consider that canon anyway, because George Lucas had his own mindset of what he was going to do.
Robert, I don't think most of us are talking about canon like you are. We're just talking about Star Wars lore in general.
I'm talking about Star Wars lore.
But
I'm
Star Wars lore is
just because something isn't considered canon anymore doesn't mean that it's still not Star Wars lore.
Yes, it does.
No. Here's the thing. Canon is. Here's the thing. Again, I design a car. Henry Ford started Ford. He gets taken out of the top spot. Does it stop making it a Ford just because Ford now says everything that came before this doesn't count?
That's a bad example.
No, it isn't. It's the exact same thing.
No, it's not.
George Lucas was Henry Ford. He stepped down, and then everything that he had said beforehand became whatever Disney said. That's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, but
it's different.
If Henry Ford,
sorry, that's a horrible example.
If Henry Ford sold his car to Danny Ford, and Danny Ford said, "Well, I'm going to change Ford Mustang to Ford whatever," it's going to be whatever I change it to now because I own it.
It's going to be, but that doesn't change the fact that there's still Ford Mustang driving around out there. That's my point. If the idea that Disney has any right to claim what canon is, and here's the problem.
First of all, I don't know what you got against Disney. You need to get off Disney's ass because, first of all, it's Lucasfilm, not Disney.
No,
Disney bought it.
Disney owns it. It's not Lucas. Lucasfilm does not make any decision that Disney does not let it go through, because Disney's name is still on the new trilogy.
Yep.
It is plain and simply put Disney. Before 20th Century Fox put their name on it. And if they had done some of this stuff, I would have held 20th Century Fox accountable for it. The problem is the word canon is way overused to people who don't understand it. And I'm not even claiming that I know all what technically is canon, because here's the thing. Disney doesn't even understand their own canon because they throw shit in there.
You're phone on mute, Robert.
They throw stuff in there that has nothing to do with their canon and then still say that it counts.
Your phone's on mute, Robert.
Yeah, you're muted, Robert.
Your phone's on mute.
And I could sit here all night trying to find this, but I'm reading through articles that are 1,000 words.
It's amazing you have such a hard time finding stuff when I can just pull it right out of the ass point.
What are you pulling out? You're just pulling out something that everybody.
I'll tell you. Here. What about all this shit? Look at this. You see these?
I have all that too.
And look over here. Guess what? I got all my fucking movies and my Clone Wars and all that shit.
I got that too. I got all of that too. It doesn't matter. Those books don't matter.
You're looking up on Wikipedia and all kinds of shit on Google trying to come up with your.
No, I'm trying to find you your exact terminology that you want to hear. And to do that,
because there is none, sir. There is none. Look at my cats looking at me like I'm stupid.
Because
there's a lot lost in translation, like that's for sure.
Here's the thing: I'm not the only person that accepts this. And again, it's the flat Earth and the round Earth thing. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
Seeing how we got fucking spaceships to go out in space, sir, I doubt that.
But my point here is that it doesn't change the fact that there are plenty of people that believe one or the other.
Chris, look at the private chat.
What's going on?
Hanstar posted a message from the Phantom Menace. He says there was a quote that says when George Lucas was making the Phantom Menace, he referred to Qui-Gon Jinn as a great Jedi because he didn't follow the politics of the Council, but strictly
that's what I'm trying to find is the actual quote, because I remember him saying that, but I got to figure out how to type this exactly to get it to come up.
Okay, let's say hypothetically, there is a quote from George Lucas thinking that Qui-Gon is a Jedi, sorry. That's not official anymore. That's unofficial.
Yes, it's in the movie.
As far as I'm concerned,
you tell me where in the movie they say that. Qui-Gon Jinn, the master of great Jedi. Tell me where he says that in the movie.
He made those movies. If Disney says those movies are canon and he said it about that movie, then it makes it canon.
No. Saying something about something and saying something in it is two different things. And I watched the fan. Hold up, man. I watched the Phantom Menace. I watched that shit on audio commentary. I watched the documentary. I watched everything on the Phantom Menace. Nowhere did it say great Jedi. So if you pull out a quote of George Lucas saying, "Oh yeah, he might be a great Jedi," so who gives a fuck? That's what he said about something. That's not canon. What somebody says about something ain't canon. Get the fuck out of here.
He made the movie. If he says it, then that's what's canon because it's about the movie.
Hey, guess what? Look at this salt. I think it's pepper. I said it. It's got to be fucking pepper. Get the fuck out of here.
You didn't make it. You didn't make it.
What? Weren't you the one?
Did you make pepper? Did you make salt?
Gotta be pepper.
Settle. First of all, man, settle down.
Rob, you're gonna have a stroke.
Second of all, weren't you the one saying that if George Lucas said it, it was true?
No, I said if it's in the movie. If it's in the movie.
Here's the thing. If he's saying it about the movie, about a character in the movie.
Okay, so if he said Qui-Gon was constipated, is that canon?
Yep, sure is. Absolutely is.
I have a feeling that no matter what is said, Robert's not going to be happy.
No, he isn't. That's all right.
You tell me in Clone Wars, the movies, or in Rebels, where someone says, great Jedi, I will say, you guys win. But until you can tell me something that's in the movie or in the script that says it, just because George Lucas goes, hey, you know what? Pod racers take fucking water instead of gasoline. Okay,
gasoline doesn't exist in the Star Wars universe.
Oh Lord!
Even though the last Jedi,
what is it?
It looks like we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Sometimes in life.
Yeah,
I'll find it and I'll send it his way.
This is going to be a subject we're not going to agree upon. But I can promise you.
Well, fucking Chris gonna go type his own script out and put it in there.
I can promise you.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. So 4 individuals on the panel. You guys are saying that there's a gray Jedi, and then Robert is saying that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And not just us. People in the chat have agreed too, and this has been brought up in many conversations before this. I mean,
well, I definitely gonna watch. I think the only way to do it is to watch the episode. So
I agree.
And I'm not again. I'm not positive if that's the episode or not because I remember several references to this throughout. But again, I will find what he wants and I will send it his way.
I have Disney Plus, so I will be watching it tonight.
Yep.
I'm curious.
I'm gonna go watch my nuts.
Disney Plus anymore, so you let me know what you find out, Danny, because I am curious.
I will.
We've been. I mean,
this is water, but I think it's apple juice.
I mean, not to interrupt you, Danny, but I think there's also stuff in the Star Wars universe that isn't necessarily specifically talked about in the movies that is talked about other places. That doesn't mean it's not canon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Robert will be very pissed about that, but I'm just saying.
It's
what happened? What happened?
I'm saying there's also things, in my opinion, in the Star Wars universe that isn't specifically said in the movies. It doesn't have to be necessarily said in the movies to be canon. I mean, to me, if George Lucas says it, it's canon.
George Lucas said Mace Windu's still alive. Obviously, he's not.
We don't know that because we haven't seen him.
George Lucas also said Palpatine was dead. Clearly, that wasn't true.
Yeah, but again, that's Disney. That's Disney.
Don't make it sound like I like that movie.
I understand. I hear you.
But didn't you? I'm not going to argue with anybody. I'm sure that, like you said, Danny, we got to agree to disagree.
I think what our misunderstanding is, if I could try to calm down and be intelligent here.
I've never met you, Robert, so I'll just say, nice to meet you. We can agree to disagree.
I think we're just clashing with what was Legends and EU lore with me as a canon junkie. I think that's what we're clashing at. If you guys want to say there's great Jedi and the old lore and stuff, sure, I can agree with you.
Hold on.
No, I gotta say this though. I gotta say this.
Hold on. One at a time.
I gotta say this. I just want to say this real quick. Robert, I'm a fan of yours. All right, y'all continue.
No, Robert. Robert, I like a lot of the stuff you say. Here's the fact: you're talking about canon. Then here's your problem. You have two canons because you are accepting a new canon. That here's the thing: if you go by what they said beforehand, there was canon beforehand. And now what you're saying is it's like taking the Bible and saying, well, we're going to rewrite this.
They do that all the time.
Not so drastically as what Disney has done. Rephrase this.
I was trying to be respectful and say, you guys follow your Legends EU stuff.
All I'm saying is Robert, I'm going to find what you're asking for. And that's
you're not going to find it.
But if I do, then what?
Then tell me where fucking Atlantis is.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to figure that
out. And while you're at it,
wait, time. If I send you a clip from Clone Wars,
man, we gonna have to change the title of this stream to Sometimes in Life because I'm telling you,
well,
if I send you a clip from Clone Wars that has that in it.
If Chris works for me, I'm gonna have to say this. If you was on my shift as a police officer, Chris, and we just calm down that individual Robert Storms, and you come back in here and stir that shit back up, I would tell the rest of my guys to drive off the scene and let you deal with this motherfucker by yourself.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna get him.
We had him calm down.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna get him the evidence he wants. Yeah, I can't do it right now because, like I said, we're gonna get it, and I'll send it his way.
Okay.
And while we're at it, we can get the rest of the Scooby-Doo cast and we can go look for Bigfoot and aliens too.
Absolutely.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I'm all for that.
I'm especially all for looking for Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yeah. Look. All respect, because I got to go make my juice here, hashtag be healthy and shit. But look, you guys want to say Legends or EU, whatever, there's Grey Jedi? Sure. I'm pretty sure somewhere in there is. I'm just saying, that is that. I stick to what is actually official canon. You don't have to follow it. Everybody's entitled to their own. That's all I'm saying. I'm just telling you, in official canon, there is no such thing as Grey Jedi. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Until Chris actually find a quote from the Clone Wars episode that says that's what I'm staying by. But you guys can follow whatever kind of stuff you want to follow. I don't care.
But Robert, don't leave. You just got here. Yep.
Well, I'm about to turn on my juicer, so I don't want it to be too loud.
Like you want to, Terrence.
Terrence wants you to stream with him for 10 more hours.
Yeah, 10, at least 11. I mean, we got to.
Okay.
Robert's on the juicer.
Mm-hmm. Was that a cucumber?
I thought it was a dildo.
See, I was in the back. I was in the back, just sitting on my throne, and you guys were just at each other with the lightsabers. I'm just like,
I take Star Wars very seriously.
Terrence,
right.
Exactly as I planned.
We can tell.
Take a deep breath, Robert. We're all just having a conversation.
I can't.
We've been on an hour and 30 minutes, gentlemen. I'm about to wrap up.
No.
Yeah. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I got court. But I'm gonna go ahead and let Handstar tell people where they can find them at.
I'm Honstar. You can find me on my channel, Honstar. I'm mostly doing live streams right now. I do a weekly stream Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time called the Bloody Mary Brunch, where I drink Bloody Marys and we talk about random shit from the internet. I also do a bi-weekly stream called Name That Tune. Chris Knight's the DJ. Sean's been on there. Danny's going to be on there on the next episode. It's a good time. Everybody come check my channel out, especially Name That Tune. We have an awesome time on Name That Tune.
That's a great show.
And you can find me on social media at HonstarYT on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you again, Danny, for having me on here.
Not a problem. I will see you Sunday. Sean Stackhouse, tell the people where they can find you at, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on YouTube at Sean Stackhouse Reacts, and I'm on Twitter at Sean Stackhouse.
Terrence, where can the people find you at, sir?
Oh, hey, what's going on, humans? I'm Terrence. And if you go over to the Tremaine Terrence channel, you will find all sorts of wonderful, thought-provoking content. But there are a couple more things that I want to say. One, I very much enjoyed this stream, Danny. I appreciate you having me on, and it's always a pleasure talking to you and everyone on the panel. And Robert Storms, as I said, I'm a fan, and when you want to do like a 20-hour stream, you just let me know, and we can take care of that. And I want all you humans to subscribe to everybody on the panel because they're all really good people, and you should check them out.
Mr. Chris Knight, where can people find you at, sir?
You can find me at Review 3000 and on these videos and craziness like this. You know what, Robert? I love you to death, man. And you and I get.
Love you too, Chris.
I mean, we get in heated conversations. I mean nothing by it. If I can find what you're looking for, I'm all for it. But you know what? I always appreciate your opinion, and I understand you're probably the same way I am with Star Wars. You're a nut about it, and you're crazy over all that stuff. I loved having you on today. It was great to have you here. Guys, help me get to 1,000 subs, guys. I'm 154 away last I checked. Please help me with that. I have books to give away. If you go to @ChrisKnight5150 and share or retweet and like that post that's pinned on my Twitter, I would greatly appreciate it. And then if you haven't subbed to my channel already, go check it out. And thank you guys. And thank
Robert,
you.
Do you have the book that Chris has?
And
what? Do you have the books that Chris has?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does.
Well, those old things, dude. Those things, man. Yeah.
Dude, these are the Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi are first edition copies. This is a 7th edition special edition. Remember, Star Wars, not A New Hope, just Star Wars.
Yeah.
And at 1,000, we get Panda Suit Mary, right?
That's true.
Oh,
Panda
yeah.
Suit Mary. And
hashtag Panda Suit Mary.
Hashtag.
Mr. Storm, tell the people where they can find you at, sir.
Twitter being harassed, and apparently I'm on the right side.
I know. People
Y'all
just,
follow Mr. Storm. He has
Mental issues, yeah.
I'm trying to see a good word to describe this last week. It's been very exciting.
It's exciting. I'm getting death threats.
In case some of you don't know, he went viral with one of his uploads, which I agree with him on probably about 95% of what he said.
Thank you, Danny.
But follow it. He's very entertaining. Very entertaining. Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I want to say here on TV, on YouTube channel, that he gave me a chance. I begged him for I don't know how long it was, and he finally gave me an opportunity to go on the show and kind of build my platform. I'm going to tell him publicly for everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now my show getting up. I got 1,100 subs. I'm trying to get 1,500 before Father's Day, which is I think the 3rd week in June. But I can only do that with these kind of shows. Today, this show was called Chaotic Conversation. It definitely was a chaotic conversation. It lived up to the name. So I definitely appreciate.
Robert, Terrence, I've never met you all before. We disagreed, Robert. You got kind of excited, but it's nice to meet you, Terrence. It's nice to meet you.
Yep, likewise.
Yeah,
the thing about Robert, I think that people need to understand is he's very much like Shaft. No one understands him except his woman.
Not even my woman. She left me too.
Oh,
Remember, my wife left me.
I
So
know.
Even she's like, "Fuck this motherfucker."
Yeah, I mean, like
You know
I
why we
said,
broke up though, officially, right? She kept saying there was a fucking gray Jedi. I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
yeah, like, yeah, get out of the house, leave. Like,
you almost made me spit beer all over my keyboard.
yep.
I mean, yeah, I can see how that would affect your quality of marriage for sure.
See, it was just like shit. Right when I was getting ready to take over the universe, Robert popped in. I'm like, I'm gonna hold pause on that destructive button. I got to hear my boy. Like,
But I don't know what next one is going to be. It's going to be hard to top this one, but I'm going to find something. I will let each and every one of you know. You're more than welcome to join me. We'll make it work. We'll keep switching out or whatever.
No.
But again, thank you all. I appreciate each and every last one of your inputs. Very interesting, very stimulating show. And
yeah, thanks again, Danny, for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
not a problem.
Yep, Danny, you sure you don't want to go for another 10 hours?
No, I do not. But that's gonna be it, fellas. Thank y'all, and y'all have a good night.
Later,
everybody.
Yep.
Hey guys.
Later.